Hi everyone, well done on Monday and Tuesday's lesson. Today I'll walk you through lesson 74, parts 6 to 12. Part 6 we're dealing with mixed numbers, so let's do A together and you'll do all the rest on your own. So for A we have 10 over 4. Now we already know that we cannot divide 10 by 4 and get one whole number. What we'll need to do is solve for the whole number plus the fraction. So our first step is to see what number can we multiply by 4 to get as close as we can to 10. So we know that 4 times 2 will get us to 8, which is as close as we can get to our top number. So I'll put our 8 in our box to keep track of everything, but we are not done. We don't want 8, we want 10 over 4. So next we need to add 2 to get to 10. And since our final answer is in a fraction, we need to be adding a fraction that has the same bottom number as our answer. So here we are, we have 2 plus 2 over 4. So now you can pause this video and and complete the rest of part 6 on your own. So for part 7, you're solving single-digit multiplication. So you can solve this on your own as it's great practice, as well as part 8, which you're solving some simple division. So we'll do part 9 together. Part 9, we're dealing with number families, and we need to write the missing fraction. I'll just draw that here. So our big number is 1, and our small number is 36 over 55. So now our missing fraction is our first small number. But before we solve anything, we can't use any of the numbers unless they're all fractions. So right now we have one fraction, but we need to change this whole number into a fraction so we can solve for our first small number. So what we need to do, we know that the bottom number for every whole number is 1, and we need to make sure that they have matching bottom numbers since we'll be adding or subtracting. So we'll times this by 55, and whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top, and times that by 55. So our new number is 55 over 55. So now let's look at how we can solve this. So we're missing our first small number, but we have our second and we have our big number. So whenever we're looking for a small number, we need to subtract. So let's take our big number, 55 over 55, and minus 36 over 55. We can even solve it over here. So we know our bottom number will always stay the same. So this will be 55, but we need to solve our top number. So we need to subtract 36 from 55. So let's do that over here. All right, so now we have, just block this off. Well, 5 minus 6, we know we can't do that, so let's borrow from our other number. This becomes a 4. We'll turn this into a 15, so we have 15 minus 6, which will give us 9, and then 4 minus 3, which will give us 1. So there's our new top number. So our answer is 19 over 55. So we'll plug this in back into our number family. We have 19 over 55. So now you can pause this video and finish B and C. Just remember to make sure that all of the whole numbers get turned into a fraction before you begin to solve. And when we are changing our whole number, whatever we do to the bottom, we must do to the top. So you can pause this video and finish part 9. So part 10, we're plotting fractions on a number line. I'll just draw this out first, and we'll do a few examples together. All right, so here is what part 10 looks like. So we need to fill in each fraction for each whole number. So at 0, we have the fraction for 0 over 73. So now we know the bottom number for each of our fractions will be 73. So we can write that in right now. I'll do the first 2 examples with you. So next we have 1. Now to solve with the whole number of 1, we always multiply the whole number by the bottom number. So we have 1 times 73, which will give us 73, since anything times 1 is the number itself. So next we have, for the whole number of 2, we'll need to multiply our bottom number by 2. So we can do this on the side here as well. We have 73 times 2. 3 times 2 will give us 6, and 7 times 2 will give us 14. So our answer is 146 for our top number. So you can do the whole numbers for 3, 4, and 5 and complete the rest of the fractions. Just remember, we're multiplying the whole number by our bottom number to get the top number. So you can pause this here and finish the rest of the number line on your own. So for part 11, we're solving for an area of a rectangle. Now we remember that to solve the area of a rectangle, we need our formula, length times width. So we have the rectangles drawn already. So now we'll just solve. We'll do A together. And make sure we're including our units of measurement. All right, so here is our rectangle for A. We know that we must have length times width. So our length will be 37 inches. And our width is 1 inch. So times 1. Now this one's an easy one. So we know 37 times 1 will give us 37. Now just remember that we need to put our square inches. So there we have it. Now for B, we have a double-digit multiplication question. So just remember to include all your steps and include the 0 when you're working in the tens column. So you can pause this here and finish part 11. Now for part 12, we're changing multiplication questions as division. So I'll just write this out here. All right. I just wrote it underneath, but it's the same thing as on your sheet. So we have 3 times a number equals 180. Now before we find out this number, we need to divide. So we need to put this equation as a division problem. So we know the answer is always underneath the division line. That's what we'll be dividing. So we have 180, and the number that we're multiplying by is the number that we'll divide by, which will be 3. So now we can begin to divide. So we look, can 3 go into 1? No. So 3 go into 18? Yes, it can go into 18 6 times. Next we have 3 into 0, and that's 0 times. So we know 3 times 60 will give us 180. So let's do one more together, and then we are all finished. So we have 4 times the number will give us 840. And we'll have to put this into the division problem. So of course, our answer to our multiplication is the number that we'll be dividing into. So it'll go underneath here. And then the number we're dividing by is 4. So let's see how many times can 4 go into 8. That's 2 times. How many times can 4 go into 4? 1. And lastly, how many times can 4 go into 0, which is 0. So our answer is 210. So you can finish part 12, and we are all done for today. So keep up the awesome job, and let myself or Mr. S know if you need any help. Bye!